Welcome to another pop-up edition of Creative on Purpose Live. These are broadcasts that are dedicated to helping advancing solopreneurs optimize their business to better fund and fit the life that they actually want to be living. And I'm Scott Perry. I am the publisher of Transcendent Solopreneurship and the founder of Creative on Purpose. And if you want to learn more about the publication or Creative on Purpose, feel free to just go ahead and go to creativeonpurpose.com. There's links to the Substack there. You can also look us up at Transcendent Solopreneurship, or just click on my profile picture. And Transcendent Solopreneurship is the only publication that I'm publishing at the moment. Today, we are here to talk about the only three things your Substack business or Substack publication needs to succeed. And so I would love to start by just asking those of you that are here, like when we talk about succeeding on Substack, what does that actually look like for you? Like if you're not leveraging Substack necessarily as a primary lever in your business, then your business in general, like what does success actually look like for you? I would love to see people share in the chat here. What does success look like for you? How do you find success? And as you're typing in those answers, I will just share some thoughts that have come to me after working with hundreds of clients and thousands of students and readers. The most frequent answer is that, they want to make more money, or maybe they have a specific revenue goal that they're trying to hit, or that they want something associated with kind of status, whether it's fame or recognition or reputation or what have you. I would encourage you to think less about the money end of things. In my experience, revenue is a naturally occurring side effect of building a business that actually is getting the things that you would purchase if you could achieve a revenue number, or if you could achieve a time number in terms of how much time you want to be spending in your business, or how much time you would like to be not spending in your business. Okay. And so again, defining success for yourself. Okay. So the Iron Woman says, create a community. Emma says, I want to have conversations. So if I get a conversation a week, I will be happy. That's awesome. I think, Emma is a member of the inner circle community. So she is familiar with my frameworks and my approach. Bob says the same thing. Bob is a circle member, so he's pointed in the same direction. So you have to really, if you're going to decide what are the things that I need to create a successful Substack publication or a business that leverages Substack as a tool for achieving my business goals, what does success look like for you? And when it comes to what it takes to succeed, again, having the right goal is one thing. I would, again, caution against revenue goals or time goals. It's like, what would you do if you could make more money and save more time in your business? What would that look like? And then what are the things that are necessary to achieve that? And so that's my second question to you all is, if you have an idea of what success looks like for you, then what are the 2 or 3 things that are necessary to achieve that level of success? Now, I'm going to give you my answer momentarily. I'm going to start with some ideas and principles that come from my friend and mentor Seth Godin. The Iron Woman and Margaret and some of the other folks here are familiar with my long association with Seth Godin. I was a participant in the 6th edition, the 6th cohort of the Alt MBA. I became an alternate Alt MBA coach at that time, and then I became a coach in Seth's Akimbo workshops, starting with the marketing seminar and then the bootstrappers and freelancers workshop. And then at some point, I coached in almost every single one of the Akimbo workshops, but I became a head coach at Akimbo workshops and was the head coach for both the freelancer and the creatives workshop for a number of years, and eventually kind of closed out my career there as being the head coach in charge of training and bringing on onboarding other head coaches into the program. So I feel like I have a fair understanding and familiarity with Seth's principles and concepts. And one of the things that was really compelling to me in the marketing workshop was Seth talks about the marketing trifecta. And I think this is a great framework conceptually to think about what are the 2 or 3 things necessary to succeed in business, because marketing is a way that you get the word out, right? The way that I think about marketing is telling true stories that to people who would benefit from your offer and help them achieve the things they want to achieve or solve the problems they want to solve. So telling true stories to people that need to hear them so that their lives will be enhanced by whatever your offer is. And what Seth said is that the marketing trifecta is made up of answering 3 questions. What's it for? Who's it for? And what promise are you making? And what's it for can also be defined as what change are you making? Because that's the fundamental idea behind the question of what's it for, what the change that you are making, what's the shift in identity that people will experience through your offer, what's the shift in status, what's the outcome that they will expect, what's the change that they will experience through colliding with you and your work, you and your offer, you and your product or service. One of the most compelling ideas that Seth talks about in This Is Marketing and in the marketing seminar back in the Akimbo days is this idea of who's it for? What's the smallest viable audience that you can identify? You're looking for a specific, small, engaged group of people that you can name, right? You have to name your smallest viable audience. And that if you're speaking to everyone, you're actually speaking to no one is kind of the fundamental idea behind this as Seth articulates it. You have to get very specific about who it's for. What's the smallest viable audience? And then the final question is, what promise are you making? What's the result that they will get if they do the work that's required through engaging with your product or service? What's the promise that you can keep? That, again, assuming that they actually not just purchase your product or service, but they actually engage in the work. So just to give you a sense of how I think about these things for myself, and I want you to come to your own conclusions. But and as I'm saying this, I'd love for you to share, like, what are the things that you think are necessary for you to succeed in business, whether that's a Substack-driven business or a Substack itself, or another business that leverages other tools to succeed. What are the things that are required? For me, when I started my business, leveraging Substack as a primary place to connect with my smallest viable audience, success for me was defined as I want to build a business that allows me to take care of my grandson 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. And that meant I couldn't engage in my business the way I had been engaging in it up to that point. I couldn't work 8 or 10 hours a day in my business and have 9 hours a day to spend with my grandson. Seth Workizer just joined social media escape club. You should check it out. He's been really with me almost since the beginning of this endeavor. We've known each other since back in the Akimbo days. Success to me, as I was just saying in our Friday on Purpose call, is taking a nap every day with my grandson, 2 or 3 hours of nap time in the middle of the day without any guilt, shame, or impact negatively on my business. That's success to me. You decide what success means to you. in order to achieve that, going through Seth Godin's Trifecta, the change that I'm trying to make is I'm trying to help purpose-driven solopreneurs optimize their business to fund and fit the life that they actually want to live without having to engage in any digital marketing stupidity like niches and ideal customer avatars and funnels and launches and all the usual digital marketing BS. That's what it's for. Building a prosperous, purpose-driven business that is fulfilling and funds and fits the life that you want to live. Who's it for? Well, obviously it's for purpose-driven solopreneurs who are building a business not by scrambling to add more tools and tactics and strategies to their business, but to build a business that is built upon philosophy and principles, built upon the beliefs, their core values, their guiding principles that embraces, acknowledges, and maintains their boundaries and guardrails. And that is built from reasoning from first principles. That's my smallest viable audience. It's a very small audience because almost everybody, even here on Substack, that is building a business or trying to optimize a business is looking for the latest trick, hack, digital marketing tool, tactic, or strategy being promoted here or elsewhere on the internet. And I'm saying, no, you don't need any of that. What you need to do is you need to get clear on who you are, what you're good at, where you belong by understanding what your core values, beliefs, guiding principles are, what your core innate inherent talents and skills are, so that you can figure out who you are, what you're good at, and you can put yourself where you belong, which is with people who share your values and need your talents. That's who Transcendent Solopreneurship is for. And then the promise that I'm making is that every time I get on a live, every post, every coaching call, every community call for the circle and inner circle community, I'm going to deliver insights that inspire you to take intentional action that will help you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The smallest step into possibility that you can take that will help you get closer to what you really want with greater ease and velocity and without any risk, without any wasted effort. So using Seth Godin's questions, that's how I would talk about accomplishing my version of success, my definition of success. So one of the things that we do in the Transcendent Solopreneurship communities, which is the circle community of monthly and annual subscribers, and the inner circle community of subscribers, is the founder level of subscribers, is we talk about the core frameworks of what I call the purpose-driven prosperity model, which are the core frameworks of Transcendent Solopreneurship. A forever offer, the promise that you can keep, the fundamental promise that you can keep with every single person that engages with you in your work. Be a blessing marketing, a way of showing up, doing your thing, and letting people watch, trusting that your people will find you and that you don't have to resort to any digital marketing stupidity. And then closing the gap. The Close the Gap framework is just a goal setting and achievement framework that helps you get clear about exactly what you're really trying to accomplish, what your most immediate bottleneck is in your business, and creating a priority out of that, and a simple 2 or 3 step process that will help you accomplish that goal with the greatest ease and velocity. And so when I began this journey for myself, I looked at my business. It was very complicated. It was full of cruft and bloat and too many things, because I did all the things I advocate not doing. I bought every single digital marketing tactic and tool and strategy there was. I did the launch formula, Jeff Walker's launch formula. I did Joel Irway's power offer and Alex Hormozy's no-brainer offer. And I built funnels, the bought into the ClickFunnels tool and constructed these complicated funnels that were extremely leaky, that required a lot of maintenance and oversight and hole plugging and all that sort of thing. Did it all wrong. Did way too many things, was on way too many platforms, talking to way too many people that were never going to be a good fit. And I decided when it was time, and I will say that I succeeded in that. I achieved the dream of earning a consistent $10K a month for many, many months, only to find that it didn't make me actually happy. It didn't turn my business into this fulfilling, flourishing revenue engine. I made the money. I was profoundly unhappy. I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like the people I was working with. I didn't like the work that I was doing. And so when I blew that up and started from scratch, I decided that the 3 things that were necessary to succeed in my business, leveraging Substack, was that I needed an irresistible offer that I could put in front of an eager audience and put it in front of that audience in a way that didn't require any digital marketing BS, that allowed me to simply do my work out loud and in public so that I could increase my preeminence in my domain, which is broadly coaching. Some people might call it business coaching, but those are the 3 things. My irresistible offer is that I can help you build I can help you optimize your business to better fund and fit the life that you actually want, which probably means decreasing the time spent in your business by 80 to 90% while you're boosting your revenue at the same time. By doing more of the work that you love, making whatever change you make happen, circling back to Seth Godin's idea, with people that you actually care about, with your smallest viable audience. And then finding an eager audience on Substack, that's really easy, because if you stop chasing a niche and trying to narrowly define this ideal customer avatar and this power offer that you can offer them, but instead just show up, instead of trying to fit into that market, to stand within the market, to stand up in the market and say, this is who I am, this is what I'm good at, this is where I belong, this is what I believe, this is what I don't believe, this is what I do, and this is what I don't do, this is who I do it with, and this is who I don't do it with. Substack makes that really easy, and it puts your publication in front of smart people who are readers, who are here searching for solutions to their problem or ways to accomplish their aspiration. And it provides you with all the tools you need to distribute that message, to get the word out through a blog, through an email list, through notes and chat, through broadcasts like this, and through podcasts. And that's how I get my message out in front of the people that would benefit from colliding with it. No power offers, no no-brainer offers, no funnel, no launches. Just show up every day and help people get a little bit clearer about what they're actually trying to accomplish, and a little bit closer to achieving that without doing anything that is out of alignment with who they are, what they actually believe, their core values, their guiding principles. So that is my answer to the 3 things that you need to succeed with a Substack business, with a Substack publication, or a business that leverages Substack to achieve its goals. An irresistible forever offer, a promise that you can make and keep, that is evolving as you improve your craft and as you refine your audience. An eager audience that is becoming aware and paying attention and giving you and trusting you and giving you permission to engage with them in real conversations that help them get clearer and closer to what they want, even before they pull out their credit card. Not allowing them to pay you anything until they have demonstrated that they are a perfect fit for whatever change you can help them make. And then getting the word out by delivering real value, creating content that helps people become inspired by insights that can help them take intentional action themselves to start to make change happen. Because if you can create transformation just through powerful content, the right people will pay you to help implement the ideas that you have. So if I were to if anybody has questions or comments that they want to make, this is the time to do it, because I'm going to kind of go into the big finale here, the big wrap up. But I think it's really always a great idea to distill things down to the essential thing. And yes, I believe that you can get clearer and closer to the kind of business that you actually want to be building in the least amount of time, with the least amount of effort, with the greatest amount of impact, with the least amount of risk. By following Seth Godin's marketing trifecta, by following the transcendent solopreneurship, purpose-driven prosperity model, the forever offer, the be a blessing marketing, and the close the gap goal achievement. But here's the real singular, one and only answer. The only thing that you need to succeed in business, in life, in general, is to know thyself. If you cannot identify what you truly believe, the values that are nearest and dearest to you that you will not violate, if you know what your non-negotiables are, your boundaries, your guardrails, the things that you will not do, the values that you will not violate, if you are clear about who the people are that share your values and need your talents to enhance their lives, then that's foundational, time-tested knowledge that goes all the way back to the beginnings of time. It's inscribed across the top of the Oracle of Delphi. Know thyself. Who are you? Start with who. Don't start with why. Your purpose will emerge from knowing who you are, and by leaning into your core beliefs, guiding principles, skills, and talents, and engaging in human-to-human connection, communication, collaboration, and creative enterprise. That's how your purpose will emerge. That's how your why will emerge. And along the way, you will get even clearer about who you are and who you seek to become. And it's all possible right here on Substack. You have every opportunity to stand in your power and in your truth and express that truth in whatever way rhymes with the way you like to show up. If you don't like to be on live video, don't do live video. Publish text. Publish an audio podcast. Publish little snippets of wisdom on notes. If you like to be on live video, cool. You can repurpose live video to be not only something that happens in the moment, here and now, but something that gets rebroadcast as video content, as audio content through your podcast, or through a transcribed blog post. But, that again comes down to knowing who you are. Yeah. Thank you, Emma. How do they find you in Substack? Seth Werkheiser and I have done a couple of discussions about this, and Seth is more knowledgeable about this than I am, but Substack makes it really easy for people to find you. It's a search engine, just like YouTube is a search engine. That's not social media in the way that we usually think about social media, where people are going to be distracted. People come to Substack looking for answers. If someone comes to Substack and is searching for solopreneurship, I think I have a chance of coming up. If someone subscribes to another publication focused on solopreneurship, chances are that we are subscribed to each other and recommending each other. And so when they subscribe to that publication, they're going to be encouraged to subscribe to this publication as well, and vice versa. And the restack feature and the share feature, that's all ways that the subscribers themselves become your evangelicals and get the word out. Substack does better at leveraging the network effect better than any other platform that I'm aware of. Certainly way better than social media, which is just trying to keep you on social media and trying to keep you dull, deluded, and distracted. So the best way to help people find you on Substack is to start posting some relevant content on Substack, and encourage people to help spread the word, help get the word out by sharing, restacking, commenting, and by going live or sharing on notes, however you want to do it. Well, thank you, Margaret. Margaret says, I love the 3 marketing phases. Simplicity is best. I could not agree more. The problem with simplicity is that it's never easy. Margaret also says, my initial intention with Substack is to attract the right people who could hire me or recommend me. I don't see paid subscribers or members at this point. Does that make sense? Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I see lots of people that are going entirely free. And again, the real money is not going to come through paid subscriber income revenue. I mean, I'm at about 50 paid subscribers. It generates about $500 a month, $6,000 a year in recurring revenue, which is great. Not saying that doesn't matter. It's fantastic. And the living that I'm actually making is made on back-end offers. The one thing I will say about opening up the paid subscriber feature is that it is a way of filtering out subscriber readiness for taking a bolder step into possibility with you and the change you can make. So the way that, and we talked about this in the last couple of workshops, the strategy that I have for getting the right people into my back-end programs is coaching conversations, catalytic coaching conversations that begin with for free, helping people get clear about where they're actually trying to get, where they actually are, and what they're starting with, and helping them create a roadmap that will get them from where they are to where they want to be in a perfect world. And then I simply let them know that the world is not perfect. Time and randomness happen, that a roadmap is a great tool, but it can't take into account when the bridges go out, when there's a traffic jam, and they can't help you see other destinations that might actually be better fits for where you want to go. So essentially, people will pay me to become the GPS, their guide, the trusted guide, to help them wayfind their way through the inevitable obstacles and opportunities that will arise when they start to follow the roadmap. So after that, free exchange, that free coaching exchange, which happens through email, the way that people can take a bolder step into possibility that's pretty frictionless is just become a paid subscriber. If you become a paid subscriber, you're going to be able to jump on calls with me 3 times a week and do a deep dive with me at least once a month. And again, by giving people real value and by helping them get clarity and traction and momentum toward the things that they want to accomplish, or the problems they want to solve, it becomes just a naturally occurring thing to continue to step deeper into your ecosystem and to seek greater proximity and access to you as a trusted guide to help them catalyze their progress in the help that you've already provided them with in terms of helping establish their actual goal and their actual starting point. And so the paid features, the paid subscriber levels can be kind of a filter that helps people. Like, I consider anybody that's a free subscriber to be a prospect. You've trusted me enough to give me your email address and given me permission to engage you in direct conversations through my weekly broadcasts, my weekly posts, which are broadcasts through email. I consider someone a good fit lead when they have joined the circle or inner circle community, those are just the names I gave. My circle members are monthly and annual subscribers, and inner circle members are founder subscribers. But they have self-identified as, I like what you're talking about, and I am paying you this little bit of money for a deeper level of proximity and access. And then when the time is right for them, because people have to make up their own mind, I don't sell anybody anything. Nobody ever sees a checkout link from me until they actually raise their hand and ask for it. And I don't necessarily give it to them if I don't feel like they're a good fit for me. But that's kind of the trajectory the journey I can create through the opening up the paid subscriber levels. It doesn't have to be that way. You can do it entirely for free, give all your information away for free, and then work out your back end systems on another platform or through another means. For me, the primary thing that I love about Substack is I've created a really vibrant community. Margaret, you're a member of the Circle community. It pays me the least amount of money, and it takes the most time week to week, but it gives me the most joy. And that's all been enabled through the paid subscriber feature. So I'm an advocate of turning on paid, but it's not for everybody. So it depends on what you want, how you want to do it. Lisa says, these are good ideas, Scott. I'm about personal finance and creating art. I post on Substack about buying the home in Italy. I could tie things together here. I hadn't thought of it. Yeah. So Lisa, I remember your project from our time together at Kimbo and Forward Link. And so I think you're in a great place in terms of being on Substack to share ideas and build community and create connection with more of the right people. So congratulations. Eric says the rules are the rules until something changes them. Yeah. I think the rules are, there's a lot of people on Substack, that you could consider any of us here that are using Substack to get the word out about our work and about the difference that we want to make, as, being digital marketers of sorts. When I say digital marketer, I'm not really taking myself out of that identity, because I definitely am here getting the word out about what I do through a digital platform. The positioning move, I think, that distinguishes me from other digital marketers here is I'm not promoting any dogmatic roadmaps, formulas, frameworks, blueprints, etc. I'm saying, hey, if you get the fundamental philosophy, who you are, what you believe, what your guiding principles are, and what your boundaries are, and the fundamental principles, reasoning from first principles, what's required to build the kind of business that will be fulfilling to me and let me achieve my vision of success, the strategies and tactics and tools will naturally flow from that. Most of the digital marketers I see are saying, hey, you have to be on notes. Hey, you have to launch a podcast. Hey, you have to have the perfect about page, the perfect welcome page, or you have to have your ideal customer avatar defined, or you have to define your niche. You have to have online courses or some sort. And I'm saying, no, you don't have to do any of that. Like, you don't have. I've started this business here on Substack. I didn't have a niche. I didn't have an ideal customer avatar. I didn't have a launch schedule. I didn't have a funnel. I didn't do any of the things that I'm told I have to do. I just talked about things that I wanted to talk about, that expressed my values, that demonstrated my talents, and I engaged in real conversations with real people who resonated with my values and the ideas I was sharing, and asked me if I could help them accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. So I didn't follow the usual rules of building a digital business, for sure. And that's because I did build a business by following all those rules, only to find that I was profoundly unhappy in that business, even though financially I was exceeding all of my dreams in terms of revenue goals. All right. Looks like I wore Lisa down. She's going to go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate that. This is helpful input. Thanks. I'm definitely interested in honing an audience. Yeah. So, Margaret, you weren't here when I shared this earlier, but if you watch the last 3 workshop replays, which are all available to you as a Circle member, it provides everything you need along with the core frameworks that you also have access to. I really feel like I laid out a complete process for creating your own ecosystem here on Substack or any other platform that will allow you to build a business without niching, ideal customer avatars, or a funnel that's based on a client attraction system that will feel aligned and organic and transparent and authentic. So I'd encourage you to check that out. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Jeff. Jeff and Sandra is a Inner Circle member. Jeff is a Circle member. Great to have you here. And of course, you're coming in just as I'm kind of starting to wind up. So I'll kind of wrap things up, and then if any of you have any additional questions or reflections you want to share, then feel free to do that. The only things that you need to succeed with your Substack publication or your Substack business or your business that leverages Substack as a means of achieving its goals, or a business that doesn't leverage Substack to achieve those goals. I started off by saying, get clear about what your definition of success is. And when I say what success is, we talked about it's not about the amount of money you make or the amount of time you save. What would you do if you made the kind of money that you want to make? What would you do with the time that you save if you were able to save time in that business? That's what your vision of success is. My vision of success is being able to take a nap with my grandson every day for 2 or 3 hours. That's enough. And that's what I mean. When I say define your vision of success, what does successful enough look like? It probably is not whatever ridiculous revenue number that you've set yourself as your consistent revenue goal of $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month or whatever it is. What would you do if you made the kind of money you want to make? What would happen if you just could replace the income that you make through your day job with a business of your own and did it in half the time that you dedicate to your day job? Would that be enough? So define your vision of success, your version of success, and then define what are the 2 or 3 things necessary to accomplish that. So I talked about Seth Godin's marketing trifecta. Are you clear on what it's for, who's it for, and the promise that you're making? Then I approached it from the purpose-driven prosperity model, which is what we promote here at the Transcendent Solopreneurship Substack, which is what's your forever offer? What's the promise that you can make and keep that is iterating, improving, evolving as your audience grows, as you define their needs, as you get clearer about and closer to the kind of business that you want to have to live the life that you want to be living? What's the irresistible offer that you can put out in the world? A promise that you can keep. Where's the eager audience? Who are the people that share your values and need your talents to enhance their lives through your offer? And then how are you putting that offer in front of that audience? How are you starting conversations with the kind of people that would benefit from colliding with you and the great work that you do, the difference that you can make in the way only you can make it? That's my purpose-driven prosperity model in a nutshell. Forever offer, be a blessing marketing, doing your work out loud and in public, letting people watch, close the gap. Defining the most immediate bottleneck, turning that into your number one business priority, and crafting the easiest, most efficient path to accomplishing that with the greatest ease and velocity. And then we wrapped up with, when it all really comes down to it, there's only one thing you need to succeed in life, in business, in general, is know thyself. Who are you? What are your core beliefs? What are your core values? What are your guiding principles? What are your boundaries and guardrails? What are your non-negotiables? The things that you would never violate, the things that you would never do, the values that you would never equivocate on. What are your core talents? What are the soft skills that you've always possessed that you can leverage? What are the skills that you learned in school and on the job, those hard skills that express your core values? And then it's just a matter of where you belong. You belong with people who share your values and need your talents to enhance their lives, to achieve their aspirations or solve their problems. And if you can get that much right, the path to prosperity and more purpose-driven work and a more fulfilling, meaningful life where you're living your legacy is going to be a lot easier. It's simple. It's just not easy because it's not what we're trained for. It's not what institutionalized education and occupation makes us good at. We're not good at self-reflection, critical thinking, and all the things that are necessary. We never talk about what does it mean to actually live a good life, a life worth living, a life where you are making a difference, doing work that matters with people you care about. So that's, for those of you that arrived late, that's what we talked about. I hope that this was interesting. I think this was okay. We'll probably actually go ahead and put this out as a replay at some point. If you're not already, I definitely encourage you to check out Transcendent Solopreneurship. We deliver free content every Monday, most Wednesdays. And then if you want to take a bolder step into possibility for just $9 a month or $90 a year, which translates to $750 a month, you will get insights that inspire taking intentional action that will help you collapse time to target between where you are and where you want to be with your purpose-driven business while you save time and increase revenue. And that comes to you every Friday. You also get access to me 3 times a week through the community calls and once a month at least for a deep dive on some of these principles and practices and things that we talk about in terms of the core frameworks and the essential things that will help you efficiently build a business that makes you more money and less time doing work that matters with people you care about. It's all about making a better living by making a bigger difference. So I hope that that's helpful. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate the kind words. And thank you, Lisa and Jeff and Sandra and Richard and Lisa and Emma and Margaret. And I think Bob was here. Eric was here. So if I've missed any of you, I apologize. But yeah. Great, Seth. Great to spend all this time with you. Appreciate the gift of your time and attention. And until I see you again, be well, do good, have fun.